What's going on? Yes, ma'am. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going, Mariah? Did you get the dates for me?
Good, good. Yeah. So yes, your referral was withdrawn back in January. January 27th of 2026 is when that referral was withdrawn, and that's because we didn't have any contact with you or weren't able to schedule you
Oh no,
in
we
over
talking
6 months
we talking about prior to that, way prior to that.
prior to that. Okay, so the 2024 case, as far as competency and something
No,
to do with
before
child.
that, before that, the
Okay.
it's the one from
Well, either
Lucas
way.
County Juvenile Court. It was withdrawn in February, in February, which was before the competency hearing for the TMC case. So it's
Okay.
two. It's actually two evaluations. I took one for TMC and I took another one for LCJC, but I took it in Wood County. I was having trouble taking that evaluation with you guys because the order that they were using to have me take the evaluation had already been withdrawn. So the order was withdrawn. Then my son's mom brought it up to a new judge, and then he told me to go take the order with the documentation. When I showed up with the documentation, you guys told me that the judge had already withdrawn that order like a year prior to that, or like in the February or something like that. And that's the date that I'm trying to get.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me try to pull up. So this was 2024, 2023. See what I can find over there. So it sounds like you didn't get an actual evaluation by us either of those times, correct?
No,
You're just looking
for the
date.
for the TMC case I did, but in
Okay.
August 9th of 2023, I was ordered to take an evaluation. But in between August 9th of 2023 and March 3rd of 2025, the order had been withdrawn by Lucas County Juvenile Court. They didn't know that until you guys told me that and I told them that.
Mm,
So they didn't
okay.
know because it was a new judge. So the prior judge withdrew the order. You see? So when the
Yeah.
new judge was there, my son's mom mentioned it to him, and then he was like, "Oh, I noticed you guys didn't take the evaluation." He didn't say, "I noticed that it was withdrawn." That was only on you guys' end, and that's how I was able to communicate that fact with them. I just remembered you guys said February. I was like, when was it withdrawn? You was like February. I was like, so you're telling me the order had already been withdrawn and I'm jumping through all these hoops to take an evaluation that was clearly withdrawn by a prior judge? See?
Okay. So
So
it looks
that's why
like
that's why I never came in and took it with you guys, because you guys were like, man, it's withdrawn. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
mm-hmm,
withdrawn order. So I end up having to take it in Wood County because you guys
fine.
wouldn't take me in on a withdrawn, even though I had a court order. You like in the system, it said it's withdrawn. The same court order you're trying to use has already been withdrawn.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing that here, and looks like it was formally withdrawn on April 3rd of 2025.
April
So that's
3rd.
why I'm not. Mm-hmm.
So it was withdrawn April 3rd of 2025.
Yep.
And that was the order from Lucas County Juvenile Court to you guys for me to take the evaluation.
Correct. Yep. As far as Judge Finkler.
Yes. So
Yep.
Judge
So
Finkler,
we
he
got the referral and the court date back in November of 2024, and then it was withdrawn over several months, but it was withdrawn on April 3rd, 2025.
so it was withdrawn by Judge Finkler April 3rd of 2025.
Yes. Appears like it. Yep.
Okay. And so when oh okay. And as far as my TMC case goes, how do I obtain that evaluation? Because when I looked at the TMC documentation, it says that you guys said I was incompetent to stand trial. But when I contacted you guys said we never said that. We just said you were emotional considering your situation.
Okay. For the TMC case, so regardless of court or when it happened, you actually have to go through the court to get a copy of the report. That's because technically it's owned by the court, so we can't just outright release it. So you'd have to call TMC and ask for a copy that way.
Okay, so you guys aren't like a standalone evaluation place like with doctors. You guys actually like are like not only friends of the court, but you guys are like owned by the court, like you said.
No, we're not owned by the court. As far as if the court orders the evaluation, it is their evaluation because they're ordering it. We can do private evaluations as far as if you or an attorney wants us to privately evaluate you, then you would be responsible for paying, and we would do that evaluation outside of the court's order.
And see that's what I had to do myself with you guys, because as you just said, the order was withdrawn April 3rd of 2025, but I was ordered to take the withdrawn order March 3rd, and I got the paperwork. So that means March 3rd he ordered me to take it, and then he withdrew the order April 3rd, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So then...
Yeah. So again, we're separate from the court. As we are our own agency, but again, if it's a court-ordered evaluation, the judge orders and specifies us to do it, then it is the court that's requesting the eval. Therefore, they own the eval once it's complete. Think of it like a contract. As far as we're providing the service, and then the court is the one who is receiving the service.
Okay, so what the confliction is I took the evaluation that was ordered and withdrawn and ordered and withdrawn again in Wood County, and that court order determines that I was framed by Lucas County.
Okay. Well, that is definitely something that I would
we're trying to see what it is that you guys said, because for them to say, hey, not only did I show document, we have the report, I can send it over to you guys, which was social confliction there, and you would see maybe that's why he withdrew that order, because if they determined that I was framed in Wood County when I took the evaluation that you see he withdrew, that means you guys would have determined I was framed. That means that would have blew the lid off the evaluation from TMC. It would have avoided it.
That's, again, you're talking about in between different courts.
No. What I'm saying is that's the same entity. Both use you guys. That's both two Lucas County courts that use you guys.
Evaluated you, but again, it goes back to the court, right? As far as the court ordered this and then withdrew that, and that's in one court, and then something else happened in another court, and those are separate entities, just like we're a separate entity.
No. But the confliction here is what you guys and other people don't know is the doctor. Her name starts with a B. What's her name?
We don't have any doctors with a B at this point.
Oh, it was like Dr. somebody. Who was the doctor that was on that evaluation from 2024? It was a female.
2024, let's see.
The one that was supposed to take the evaluation for LCJC, I meant. The doctor that was supposed to take the LCJC evaluation. Or the
Right, but you didn't. You didn't move forward with that one.
Okay, so it's the TMC. So it's the TMC evaluation. It was a female doctor that I was supposed to take it with. The original doctor on that one. I actually spoke to her on a private call, and the call is recorded. And I don't think she would ever say that I was incompetent, because we spoke very in detail about what was going on, and she checked. I sent her all the evidence, and she looked at it herself. And when I showed up to the actual evaluation, you guys had a whole different person there.
And that happens as far as that evaluator.
No, that mean it wasn't communicated. That mean the findings of Wood County, the findings of Unison, Wood County. I went to Unison. I walked in Unison. It was like, hey, I need an evaluation, and here's my documentation. They determined I was framed. So that would mean that doctor that works for you guys received that same documentation, but it was not communicated to the doctor that I was framed. You say
If you
what?
would have signed a release to Unison, then we would have requested records and that would have been reviewed. And again, when you use the term framed, we're not opining on what happens on the legal side of things. We're only opining on the mental health side.
Yeah,
whatever
well, if the
referral
mental health
submitted.
agency
But we are-
said that I wasn't competent to stand trial, ma'am, I've been going pro bono. Let me tell you something, and I'm being respectful. Ma'am, I beat Wood County in an unlawful arrest, got my case sealed, expunged, my firearm returned by myself, no legal counsel. I solved a multi-jurisdictional conspiracy regarding Wood and Lucas County by myself without legal counsel. I filed lawsuits against these individuals and served demand letters to them for hundreds of thousands of dollars without legal counsel. They call me the administration slayer. There's no way in hell I would be incompetent in a black and white case where I was framed for posting YouTube videos against Bates and other administrators proving that I was framed. There's no way I wouldn't be able to prove that.
Determine the legal outcome of your case. The evaluation does not determine the legal outcome of whether you're
we
guilty
have
or
the
not
documentation, ma'am. It says per the CDTC report, he is incompetent to stand trial.
guilty. Right, and that's different than whether you committed the crime or not. That
Yeah,
means
yeah,
whether or
but
not
they-
you were able to proceed to move forward. And
Yeah, there
again,
was no
that
crime
was what
committed.
they were-
There was no crime committed,
Okay.
and
Well,
that's
my
why.
advice to you is to maybe contact TMC to get a copy of the report because we can't release it
Oh,
to
okay.
you directly.
Yeah. So
moving
I'm just letting you know who I am. So I was supposed to testify against Bates in 2022 in Wood County. They responded by a failed entrapment using my child as a catalyst to get an unlawful arrest on me and failed. My child was kidnapped. They secretly gave me my baby back. And then 1 year calendar to when it occurred, I posted the proof online about the crime. They responded by putting fake charges on me and blackmailing me. I called BGPD and told them Lucas County just set me up. Lucas County said, we didn't do nothing. He made it up. So BGPD said, we think this guy's crazy. So then a few months later, I called in to Lucas County and said, hey, your administrators just tried to delete the evidence against themselves off the line. I want to come in because I have physical documentation and the transcripts. I have a flash drive with everything on it. I want to turn it into you guys before I take it to the FBI. They used the same charges they told BGPD I made up. 1 minute after we got off the phone, it's all documented. The charges were never designed to lock me up. It was to keep me out of Lucas County buildings while the Supreme Court was here. I called the Supreme Court. So the charges were just to keep me out of Lucas County, which can be documented in my home county of Wood County because our sheriff said, it seems that you only have charges in in Lucas County, considering who they said you committed crimes against. Why don't they have us kicking in your door? You're within the arrest radius. I said, it's not about arresting me. It's about keeping me out of Lucas County while the Supreme Court is here. They said, well, if they want to play stupid games, we're going to play them too. Have a nice day. So I was never arrested. They couldn't jail me. It was never to jail me. It was just to keep me off the record, keep me out of court, I got the proof. You know why? Because I have the superseding documentation. I have the admissions from the courts. I have the admissions from police officers. I have the real documentation, not the fake paperwork. So that means if I'm the original victim in the case from Wood County, that means I have all the original documentation before Lucas County falsified the records and documentation. That makes me a threat.
Yeah.
That makes me a threat.
And like I
That
said,
makes
this
me a
sounds
threat.
like it's more
So hold on,
of
wait.
a court
Imagine if
issue.
no. My issue, I'm not being rude, but it says do per the CT report. So if all you guys ask me, so listen.
Found that you were incompetent
Nope.
to stand trial, and
You
that's the end of it.
you guys asked me 5 questions. Do you know what a lawyer is? Do you know what a judge is? Do you know what a prosecutor is? Do you know what probation is? Do you know what this is? She said, oh, you're really smart. Amazing. You're well versed. I told her, yeah, because I've been in court fighting my butt off against corruption. So yeah, I'm very well inept. In fact, Justin Daler of Wood County told me I should take the bar. Once he seen me go in and get my record sealed, expunged, firearm returned, and reprimanded the officers by myself. He said, you should go take the bar, dude. So we're trying to see how it is I couldn't represent myself in the case.
This was already opined as far as this has already been sent to court. This is 3 years ago now. 4 years ago now.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense, because if the order was withdrawn, if the order was withdrawn and the order was per a crime, the order was per a crime. That's why they withdrew it, because it wasn't valid, because it was void. Why? Because it was subsequent of a crime.
It was withdrawn. We didn't move forward with that referral as far as.
But guess what? That's what you guys look, ma'am. That's what you guys think. They used that withdrawal or that. Listen, they withdrew it without telling you guys, right? And I mean, no. Listen, ma'am, listen. Listen to what they.
All of this is going back and forth between different courts.
No, ma'am. Listen to how they just tried to use you guys as a pawn. Listen to how they just tried to use you guys as a pawn in an entrapment against me. They withdrew that order 4/3 of 2025, but set a hearing of 6/9/2025 pertaining to that evaluation, saying if I didn't go to that evaluation, I go to jail. So the whole time I'm calling into you guys trying to get into that evaluation, you guys are turning me around and they're saying, I don't know why you can't take the evaluation. That's odd. It was a setup. You see what I'm saying? It was a setup. So they're like, okay, we're going to cancel the evaluation. Okay. Oh, no.
We didn't receive a new referral, and the old one was withdrawn, and we haven't received a new referral from the court, then we can't move forward without that referral. So that's
no. That's a blessing.
The first one was withdrawn, so we did not move forward. They told you to come back, but they didn't submit a new referral, so we couldn't move forward because we had only received the court order showing that it was withdrawn. So therefore, at that point, that's where things end with us. If there's no court order indicating services that are necessary, then we don't move forward.
And that's why I was having trouble getting it. That's why I was having trouble taking the evaluation with you guys, because they withdrew it, but then they concealed that from me. And they had me calling into you and guys and begging. And on the last day, because they told me I had until June 5th to take it or I go to jail. On the last day, somebody called me and said, you can go down to CTCC. I said, I live in Bowling Green. That's 30 minutes away. It's 30 minutes till they close. There's no way I'll be able to make it in. So I ran over to Unison, took the evaluation, and then turned it in. Then all hell broke loose because their plan was to withdraw it and lock me up, stating that I didn't take it. And the whole time they withdrew it. Thank you, man. I just knew I wasn't crazy. I knew you guys weren't crazy. Look, I knew you guys weren't crazy, and I knew I wasn't crazy, and I knew you guys weren't crazy. You see, so that's the whole thing. I'm like, no, I talk to these people in real life.
Between all the different moving pieces, and I get
because I kept telling them, I said,
and try to request copies of any records that you can get, because they'll be able to release exactly everything that was filed, everything that was included in the report. If they have a report from anywhere else, or even including us for that prior case in TNC, the court is going to be the one that's able to give you all of that information. But I'm glad that we could at least confirm timelines for you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, of course. If you need anything else, just feel free to give us a call, okay?
And you said just put in for a release for the courts for the report?
Yeah, I would call the court and ask them, how can I get a release of my court records or a release of my evaluation? And then that person will connect you to their documentation person that will release those.
Yeah, cause see, look, this is what this how they did it. When we went in, we was like, we want a motion of discovery. They was like, oh, we got the CDCT report. And then they called a meeting. And then they was like, hey, we got everything dismissed. It may not be the way that you wanted it, but we got it dismissed. I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, CTDC said you were incompetent to go to court. So I called you guys immediately. You was like, you guys were like, we didn't say that shit. They was like, all we said was you was highly emotional due to the situation. So then when I took the report that he withdrew April 3rd in Wood County determined that I had been framed by all of Lucas County. And we have it. I can send it to you. Give me your email. I'll send it to you right now. It says, I said I was framed by Lucas County, which is the same thing I told you guys, but I wasn't able to show you guys the documentation because at that time they had deleted it from the online server, so you guys couldn't access it. But when I recovered it, I gave it to Wood County, and Wood County said not only did he say he was framed, he was able to provide documentation to back his claims. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely start with the court.
Because guess what? Because guess what? If you guys would have took that evaluation from me and I showed you guys the documentation, you guys were going to give it to TMC and share it throughout the system just because that's what you guys do. Or if somebody referenced it and they would have seen the crimes that was committed. So that would have been bad for them. So that's why he withdrew it, because he cannot show. See, they smart as hell. They smart as hell, but you can't be the determined parent, though. I thank you so much, man.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, if you need anything else, and have a good rest of your day, okay?
You too. Have a blessing, man.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Got him.